I would like to add a few personal comments about my years working alongside Betty Jean. As most of you know, in the past, some of us old-timers, we all went to North Plainfield High School together. Warren, Watchung, North Plainfield, South Plainfield, Greenbrook, we all went together. So it stands to reason that the Warren and Watchung kids all knew each other pretty well. Well, Betty Jean Greaves was the high school beauty who caught the eye of the legendary football hero of North Plainfield, Speed Aldrich. They were that couple in high school. Yes, they married, had 7 children, and raised them in Watchung. Betty Jean's family was one of the early families in Watchung. She was a Greaves, as I mentioned before, her father being a partner in Walter's Plumbing for so many years. And her family owned a sizable chunk of properties in Watchung. To this day, probably every 5th person that you run into is somehow related to Betty Jean. Just saying. I have been on the historical committee for 16 years, and Betty Jean was already a lifetime member. Her service to the community has been monumental. She was always there to attend to the pesky details of picking things up, always working on the scrapbooks, clippings, always there for our activities, leading tours, teaching the rest of us, baking for events, doing everything. She was my co-chair for several years. Betty Jean really deserves the status of lifetime member. Thank you.
Thank you.